Hanzel La H was once the epitome of romance, his heart swelling with melodies of love and hope. He found his muse in a bright, spirited woman named Clara, whose laughter filled every room and whose smile lit up the darkest corners of his thoughts. They met in the most unexpected place a rainy afternoon at a local coffee shop, where the warmth of the drinks contrasted with the chill outside. As the rain pattered softly against the window, it was hard not to feel the magic in the air. But like all great stories, theirs had its twists and turns. After several months of enchantment, they began to face challenges that seemed minor at first. Work pressures mounted, both feeling the weight of their ambitions. Hanzel was focused on his burgeoning career as a musician, while Clara was climbing the corporate ladder in her own field. The passion they once shared started to dim under the pressures of everyday life, replaced with misunderstandings and a creeping distance. There is something about the daily grind that can wear down even the strongest bonds. The sweet messages they once exchanged turned into practical reminders: a grocery list here, a work deadline there. Time became a precious commodity, as they found less and less of it to share with one another. On one particular evening, when Hanzel invited Clara to his first big concert, a wave of uncertainty crashed over him. Lost in the excitement of the crowd, he hoped she'd feel the same spark that ignited their early romance. But when Clara arrived late, exhausted from a long day, she barely caught the performance. Hansel's heart sank, feeling a sense of disconnection during what should have been one of his happiest moments. From that night on, doubts began to seep into their relationship. Clara felt Hanzel was drifting into a world she couldn't quite reach, lost in his notes and harmonies. Meanwhile, Hanzel felt Clara's eyes questioning him, her unwavering support now tinged with a mix of concern and disappointment. Despite their willingness to discuss their feelings, every conversation somehow twisted into an argument. The spark that instigated their love, adoration, and understanding slowly morphed into defensiveness and conflict. Words were misunderstood, intentions misread. They were caught in a cycle of hurt, where every attempt to bridge the gap seemed to deepen it instead. There was a night when Hanzel, feeling particularly lost, strummed his guitar, pouring every emotion into his music. He hoped it would reach Clara, that she could understand the pain of losing the connection they once had. But instead of the music bringing them closer, it sparked another disagreement. Clara needed to talk about their relationship, while Hanzel just wanted her to acknowledge the beauty of the moment he was trying to create. This misalignment became a recurring theme. The sweetness shifted to bitterness as they found themselves on different wavelengths. Gradually, the two began to feel like friends sharing space rather than lovers creating memories. The laughter that filled their days started to fade, leaving behind silence that echoed in unfamiliar corners of their hearts. Both wanted to rekindle the feelings they once had but felt unsure how to reignite that flame. As weeks turned into months, they unknowingly started to pull away from each other, the effort that was once effortless now feeling like a chore. They would sit across from one another, lost in phones or thoughts, each waiting for the other to make a move. The love that had once been their foundation was now a fragile thread, fraying with every unspoken word and half-hearted touch. Finally, Hanzel hit a breaking point. One evening, alone in his studio, he poured his heart into a song called Echoes of Us. Every lyric reflected his pain and longing, channeling the essence of what they had lost. He felt a surge of inspiration and invited Clara to listen. Would this be the moment they finally connected, the music bridging the gap? Clara arrived, her face painted with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, but as he played, he saw her eyes gloss over, the weight of their shared struggles clouding the moment. Yet it felt like a reminder of everything they had lost rather than a celebration of love. After the song faded, the silence felt volcanic. Clara finally spoke, her voice filled with unshed tears. Hanzel, I admire your passion, but I also miss us. We can't keep going like this. Words hung in the air, each feeling like an unraveling thread of a frayed tapestry. They both knew in their hearts they were on a path that may only lead one way away from each other. In the days that followed, heartbroken yet resolute, they made the painful decision to part ways. It felt like losing a part of themselves, a piece they thought would always be with them. Hansel's concerts became somber events, and Clara's laughter no longer echoed in his world. But as fate may have it, time is a healer. Months passed, and though the sadness echoed through their lives, so did the memories of laughter. A year later, on a cool autumn day, Hanzel unexpectedly ran into Clara at a local park, both hesitant yet excited. Like two old friends remembering the warmth of spring. They sat on a bench under the kaleidoscope of falling leaves, sharing their journeys since. They both had faced challenges, dated others, and learned more about themselves. In that moment of unguarded honesty, Hansel's heart stirred again. Clara smiled softly as they spoke. A hint of the connection they once cherished lingering in the air. With cautious hearts, they began to rediscover the initial spark of their romance, not out of necessity, but out of genuine appreciation for each other. Their shared history became the foundation of a new friendship, and slowly, love began to blossom again. Perhaps it was destined that they had to part to grow before they could truly come back together. Life had taught them valuable lessons about love, connection, and the importance of nurturing each other through thick and thin. Their love story didn't go as planned, but that's the beauty of life, isn't it? Our journeys often take unexpected paths, leading us to places we may not have imagined. Sometimes, after facing hardships, we can find our way back to love, stronger than before. So, while Hanzel La H's love story went wrong at one point, it beautifully transformed into a tale of renewal and hope, proving that true love can endure, adapt, and flourish, even after moments of hardship. Love isn't always perfect, but with perseverance and understanding, it has the power to transform and endure. The beauty of Hanzel and Clara's story lies not just in the moments of joy but in their struggles, and how they learned to navigate the rocky path of love. They discovered that relationships require constant nourishment, much like a garden that flourishes with care and attention. As they took tentative steps back into each other's lives, they began to re-establish the communication that had once been the backbone of their romance. They found joy in honest conversations, exploring what they both desired and needed from one another. This time around, they recognized that love isn't just about the spark, it's about understanding, compromise, and mutual support. With each passing date, they ventured deeper into familiar territory, each laugh echoing pieces of their shared history. They revisited the coffee shop where they first met, sipping warm cups of coffee while recalling their favorite memories. Clara told Hanzel about the marketing project that had taken her time away from him, and Hanzel shared how he channeled his emotions into his music during their separation. They laughed at their misunderstandings and how seriously they had taken those small bumps in the road. One afternoon, while wandering hand in hand through the park, Hanzel realized he had not only missed Clara but had missed the essence of vulnerability and honesty that came from sharing a life in full. As they watched children play, he recalled the moments when they used to dream together, planning for the future. Clara, too, felt a warmth swelling within her heart, a gentle reminder of the beauty they had created together. They spent weekends exploring new hobbies, taking dance classes, and even learning to cook together. During one of their cooking attempts, chaos ensued in the kitchen. Flour flew everywhere, and laughter filled the air. It was in those moments of delightful disorder that they began to genuinely rediscover the sense of joy and companionship that had originally drawn them together. Yet, both knew that with rekindling love also came the responsibility of addressing past wounds. In a quiet moment one evening, as they sat under the stars, Clara bravely laid her heart open. "Hanzel, I know we can't change what happened, but I want us to learn from it. Her eyes sparkled under the moonlight, revealing the sincerity of her intentions. Hanzel nodded, recognizing that this was the key of commitment to being present and accountable while cherishing the trust they were rebuilding. Together, they made a pact to confront their issues openly and honestly. They prioritized their relationship, ensuring that time spent together was valued over the distractions that had once driven them apart. Through their journey, they discovered the power of presence, the ability to simply sit with one another during the mundane. They took long walks, shared dreams for the future, and even started writing songs together, blending their talents into a harmonious collaboration. Each note and word became a testimony to the work they were putting into their relationship. As the seasons changed, so did their love. The resilience they built allowed them to flow through life's cycles, adapting to each challenge that came their way. Hanzel introduced Clara to his music world, while she shared the intricacies of her corporate world with him. Understanding each other's passions helped them grow, not just as a couple but as individuals. Months turned into a year, and with each sunrise, the love between Hanzel and Clara deepened. They celebrated their quirks, acknowledged each other's imperfections, and learned to forgive. Clara realized it wasn't the mistakes they made that defined their relationship but how they faced them together. One evening, under a cascade of fairy lights on a romantic rooftop, Hanzel surprised Clara with a song he had written. Unlike their previous interactions, which often ended in misunderstandings, this was an outpouring of his heart, filled with gratitude and love. As he strummed his guitar, he saw tears glistening in Clara's eyes, a beautiful blend of joy and acknowledgement for all they had fought to achieve. "Thank you for giving us a second chance," he whispered as he finished the song. In her heart, Clara felt a rush of love and hope swell, recognizing that what they built from the remnants of their previous hardship was something worth protecting. Their journey had shown them that sometimes falling apart could lead to wonderful rediscoveries. Years later, as Hanzel and Clara sat together watching the sunset, arms intertwined, they reflected on the journey of their love story. They recognized that while their past held moments of heartache, it also paved the way for a magnificent future. They had turned their love into a beautiful tapestry, woven from threads of resilience, growth, and understanding. Love, they realized, wasn't a destination but an ongoing adventure. They had learned that embracing both the highs and lows only made their bond stronger. Together, they laughed, cried, and navigated life's unpredictable turns. More than anything, they cherished each other's presence, companioned by the understanding that it was okay to grow apart for a time, as long as they were willing to meet again with open hearts.